Hey there everybody, hope your day is going well. Jacade with Old School Gaming here, and welcome back to another Wild Wednesday. And yeah, I definitely need a haircut. I'll probably schedule one for next week, but it's not here, it's there. So, this one is another, apparently Iceberg theory for Super Mario 64. I'm not sure at all, really, if it touches on the same subjects. And I watched, the first, 20 seconds of this 7-minute and 21-second video. So maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I honestly don't know. I mean, next time I will definitely be going into trying to find a theory for a different game. But in the meantime, I mean, this is the mystery of the Castle Plexus, the Super Mario 64 Iceberg. This time from SwankyBox. Because last time was, Steffi Kush? I might be pronouncing that wrong, but yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this.
You want fun? Wario show you fun.
The most iconic hub world in gaming for a lot of people is Princess Peach's castle in Super Mario 64. There's just something magic about its hallowed halls. Picking it up today and running around through its corridors is a nostalgia trip, as you run parallel to the ghost Marios of your childhood that took those same steps decades ago.
Well, actually, at least me personally, I never really got to play Super Mario 64 as a kid. The only time I was able to play it was, as an adult. And, it's definitely fun. It's, definitely frustrating in certain levels, especially that clock tower. God, I hate that clock tower level, but yeah. So, anyway, I just wanted to, insert myself here for no other reason other than to say that. So, back to you.
While this rush of childhood bliss overtakes you, it's easy to forget just how weird this place really is, just how creepy and eerie it is. If Super Mario 64 had a day and night cycle, I'd absolutely nope the heck out of that front door before night set in.
Well, that would be an interesting concept, if there's a day and night cycle to it. I mean, hell, it'd probably be that the Boo level wouldn't even show up until the night cycle, and you could only beat it during the night. So you'd have to, go find another level, get stars from there until night sets in, then go to the Boo level. And as for, all the other levels, there'd probably be, a different change in enemies. Maybe the same number of enemies, but they'd be, slightly different, maybe different colored, maybe just replaced with Boos. But, I mean, I don't think that kind of concept would have been available back then. At least not with, as much as they put into the game. They probably couldn't. Maybe they could have thought of a night and day cycle, but they said, screw it, no, it's a Mario game, just a constant day.
The place is obviously haunted, given that the basement and courtyard are festering with ghosts. It doesn't help that there's a demonic portrait in the basement too. But despite my drive to flee, that feeling is why we are here today, to discuss the mystery and odd nature that Princess Peach's castle holds. From secret corridors, to sealed rooms, to the unexplained discrepancies in the build of the castle. This is the mystery of the Castle Plexus in Super Mario 64. Enjoy.
Oh, hold on a minute. So you said secret corridors. There's not really any secret corridors. And it did take me a while to figure out, how to get, that ramp into the basement. It took me a while to figure out that, it's just, another way around, not really quicker. In fact, it would take a lot longer just to take that path. So I'm just, no, I'll just take the regular path down to the basement. Not really a secret path. A secret path would be something that, you have to, go through, some kind of invisible wall. Which, I mean, to get 2 levels? Well, I suppose that one desert level is kind of secret, but not really. Yeah, but, I mean, you said secret corridors, not secret levels. So, yeah. Yeah, and as for, certain areas being sealed, well, Bowser used the power of the stars in order to do that. So, that way he could, keep Mario at bay. I mean, obviously it doesn't work in the end, just like none of Bowser's plans actually, work in the end. But, that's just what it is. Bowser's using the power of the stars to seal off certain areas to make sure Mario can't just come straight after him, so that way Bowser can consolidate his power and then be prepared for when Mario eventually does show up, because he's more or less expecting Mario to show up, but he, wants to be as powerful as possible, and he needs time to power up, so that way, that way he can, try to defeat Mario. Hell, at least now we're actually getting into I guess your unique theory of the iceberg is, so let's find out what it is.
Recently, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Super Mario 64 Iceberg floating around the internet. It essentially outlines a lot of mysteries surrounding the game, from new discoveries, to odd developer inclusions, to the far depths of creepypasta land. Deep below this iceberg, on the lowest rung on this tiered chart, are the most bizarre things associated with Super Mario 64. And that's where the internal plexus of the castle is derived from. And honestly, it's a pretty complex topic. So we're going to dive into the deep end immediately and swim our way back up. By Merriam-Webster definition, a plexus can be defined in two ways. 1. A network of anastomosing or interlacing blood vessels or nerves. And 2. An interwoven combination of parts or elements in a structure or system.
Well, that second part would definitely describe the interior of the castle, because, it's like different areas that are, more or less locked off until you get, certain points in the game, because, hell, you need the first key to get to the basement. Then once you get to the basement, you need to fight Bowser again in order to get the next key to get to the, I should say, second level. Then you need a number of stars to get to the top flight. Then you need a number of more stars to, break the curse of the endless staircase. But, yeah, so, that's, essentially the way it's all kind of woven and interconnected is definitely a plexus. I see what you're saying there, but I don't know, do you have, some kind of theoretical statements that you're going to say, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you're going to ramble on for a while? I'm not one to talk about rambling on for a while. Hell, the last time I did, an iceberg theory on Super Mario 64 last month, that was, I went on quite a few rants, so, I don't know. Are you going to keep rambling, or is there a statement somewhere in here? I really hope there's a statement in here.
In the dark depths of creepypasta land, many people believe Definition 1 ties into the aspects of the Super Mario 64 experimental AI that adapts to the player's consciousness. I briefly touched on the aspect of the AI in my video about personalization and the 1995 build of Super Mario 64 for those who are unfamiliar.
Oh, I'm familiar. I didn't see your particular video on the personalization, but I did the Steffi Kush one. That was completely debunked. Cause, hell, just, go and watch that if you want. Yeah, there is no personalization. It's a copy and paste of the same exact code. Well, yes, same exact code, maybe with different languages. That's really the only difference between, different copies, potentially, is a language. But the rest of the game code is exactly the same. Yeah, I'm not gonna, go off on a rant about that again. Like I said, so this one's number 14. Go watch number 13, Wild Wednesday 13.
In this sense, the castle is very much alive and conforms to each person individually, choosing to share or withhold its secrets from you, but adapting to you regardless if you're aware of it or not. The most notable area in this Plexus hive mind is of course the basement, where the Wario apparition resides, or so they say.
Yeah, actually there's no such thing as the Wario apparition. It's amazing what you can do with the, the right editing software and knowing how to edit. I just make very, very simple edits. I don't really do anything too complicated. But, someone could, definitely put, a face of Wario over the, that puddle that is that one underwater level in the basement. And then, put a, what would it be? It's a fade on it, or transparency. That's the word I'm looking for. Make it slightly transparent. Hell, that's what I do with the logo right here. I just make it slightly transparent, so that way, throughout any Let's Plays that I do, anything that would be below it is still, very viewable. Yeah, so there's no need to worry. There's no such thing as the Wario apparition it's urban legend, not fact.
Coming up for a breath of air and shelving the creepypasta aspect, we move on to the more grounded second definition. This refers to the build of the castle itself and how it is all connected, and quite frankly, how it's an impossible feat. Many years ago, my buddy Stogie, who's a co-host of my second channel Swanky Zone, set out to build a Nintendo-themed land in Minecraft. This was before Creative Mode was a thing, but he ended up trying to build Princess Peach's castle. Really quickly, it became very apparent that it was very, very difficult to try to fit the actual interior inside of the shape of what is passed off as the exterior. Even at a glance within the game, we can certainly tell that none of it lines up. Video game logic has always passed off small exteriors with insanely massive interior.
Well, this is what, 1995? 1996? Somewhere in there? Who knows, maybe some of the game developers were inspired by Doctor Who and the TARDIS. I mean, small outside, huge inside. It's essentially, just like going into a different dimension. So we are 3 minutes in now, and you have yet to make any kind of a hypothetical statement or anything. Or who knows, maybe you provide the evidence and then make your statement at the end. I would kind of wish it was the other way around, because that's really how it's supposed to be. You state your hypothesis, then you provide evidence to support it. Or try to support it. Yeah, anyway, I guess back to you.
Banjo-Kazooie comes to mind, as do other titles, so it's no surprise that Peach's castle follows the same hammer space-like principle. Some people even took it the extra mile like Modder Skelix, who overlaid the outer castle with the interior, and you can see it is certainly well beyond the scope of the exterior. But the size discrepancy is really only the start of what makes this whole castle baffling, because given the scaling of the castle, there's quite a lot of lost space within it. For example, lots of players have noted that the stained glass where Princess Peach appears from doesn't align with the interior. There is unaccounted space between where the stained glass window protrudes from outside and where it appears inside. In fact, it's a pretty large sized room that is as deep as the overhang area that's across the bridge. Many people believe this is where Princess Peach is trapped until you free her, but this room hints at something bigger about this mysterious castle, and that is how most of the castle itself is off-access. The castle itself doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it feels more like an art gallery than an actual castle.
Well, that's how a lot of castles are. It's just like these giant unused spaces. Do we leave them barren, or do we put, some artwork up? That way, visitors can see just how, privileged the particular people are. I mean, hell, it was, I don't even know, one episode of Morrowind was talking about, like, some Khajiit master painter, and, it was like, his works, his original works went for exorbitant sums of money, and hell, even Emperor Uriel Septim had several paintings, and it was, it's more just like, oh, hey, big monarch political people will, say, like, hey, we got this because, we have enough money to pay for it. We're privileged like that. That's essentially what it does. I mean, hell, and Bowser definitely takes advantage of that by, putting, pocket dimensions, so to speak, inside the paintings. Where he, hides a bunch of stars and, consolidates his power. That's also why, like I said, parts of the castle are locked off so he can, just absorb the power, so to speak, and go from there. As for, the castle, the outside versus the inside, I'm not 100% certain, but, I would probably say that, they were different designers. Because it was just, okay, well, here's the outside of the castle, this is what we're going to use. Now, the interior, that's what's going to be the most important thing. They probably didn't take too much time with the outside, because there's no, levels outside. I'm sure they took time to, that one exit from the basement to get into the vanished cap level. There's, right, because the metal cap level also, leads out to the waterfall. So there was probably some correlation, but not enough to where it's a relative size on the outside as it is inside.
But given what we are presented, it goes to show that we are really only exploring a small part of it. Have you ever been outside in front of the castle, just admiring its polygonal beauty and just thought, wait, why does this have windows? Literally, there are windows everywhere, but not a single window inside. Well, I guess we have Peach's stained glass windows, but none of these exterior windows show up in the castle. We can even see them on the game box art too. But what if the castle itself had an exterior living area that surrounded the interior? A series of hallways and rooms that, well, define this place as actually livable and hospitable.
Well, maybe Bowser locked off those rooms, because, in a castle, so to speak, or in, any, high-class house, I would guess, they put all the paintings, lined up in, certain hallways, not each in their own individual room. So maybe Bowser would have, sealed off certain rooms that would have windows, seal off, close all the windows, put this painting in here, now seal this door with some of the star power, so that way, we delay Mario even more. And, oh, boom, there's a pocket dimension inside the painting now. Rather than one painting per room, there'd be, maybe certain rooms would have only one painting, but a lot of the paintings would be kind of a lot more like the second level of the castle, where there's a whole bunch of paintings, not just, one room, one painting, so on and so forth. Okay, you have less than 3 minutes to make any kind of statement about what you view as the iceberg. Are we going to get to that, or, like I said, are you going to keep rambling on forever?
Like a true chic art gallery, perhaps the doors are hidden in the walls. There could be bedrooms and all sorts of other rooms that have furniture, Because, this castle has zero furniture. It's like someone spent all the money on art and totally forgot about that part. Well, I guess there's one piece of furniture, a mini haunted chair inside of a birdcage, but I digress. Those windows have to be shining in somewhere beyond these walls. Maybe if we just had a door here we can... Oh, nope. Mario was just eaten by the wall. Well, that's cursed. Even the stained glass windows in the secret side area have to be somewhere. I mean, granted, one is hiding a giant dimensional slide, but it's almost as if these windows are just still within the overarching interior of the castle since they aren't seen from the outside. A room within a room.
Well, that particular room was actually, hidden off by Princess Peach. I mean, hell, if Bowser can use the power of the stars to, create pocket dimensions in all the different paintings and all different rooms, and then seal those rooms with the power of the stars that you can't open unless you have a certain number of stars, then, yeah, Princess Peach also could absolutely use the power of the stars to, put her own little pocket dimension without any enemies. Just, oh, hey, Mario, go down the slide, get a star, and then beat it within a certain timeline, get another star. And, of course, that's more just, Peach using the power of the stars, similar to the way Bowser uses the power of the stars. It's, it's kind of like, oh, here's a little hidden area, and and hell, she even knows that, hey, eventually Mario will come and get me, so, I want to help him as much as I can. I mean, hell, even the previous entry in the Super Mario series, which would have been Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, as fighting Bowser in that giant clown propeller ball, whatever the hell it's called, Peach is, throwing out, super mushrooms to help Mario. That's what Princess Peach does during the moments of crisis. Here, Mario, have some help.
What's interesting is this room is converted to a rec room in Super Mario 64 DS, but if you were to clip through the wall, you will see that the room itself is still intact, a sealed area that no one can access. It definitely reminds me a lot of all the weird spaces behind loading zones. I imagine a lot of you fell victim to the cruel nature of this castle if you managed to fall behind the front door to it, forever trapped in a black void, a gap between dimensions. When exploring the nature of doors a few years ago and trying to reach Super Mario 64's deadliest door, the door within the reflection world upstairs, I felt like Mario had stumbled upon the edge of reality, looking outwards across nothingness to see aspects of the castle normally never viewed from this perspective. Going back to the whole creepy aspect of the Plexus, there definitely is something odd going on here. I mean, there's literally an infinite set of stairs on the top floor as the castle repeatedly morphs around you.
That's not really the creepy part of it. It's, Bowser using magic to, prevent Mario from coming up. It's essentially just... It's kind of like an invisible wall. Mario's, trying to come up the stairs, but keeps getting hit back. Not forcefully back enough to, fall down the stairs, but just, just enough force to keep Mario at bay until Mario also would be able to use the power of the stars, obviously. And once Mario has enough star power, that's more star power than Bowser can generate to keep Mario at bay from the final confrontation. And at that point, Bowser knows, okay, well, here comes Mario, better get ready for a fight. I wouldn't really say it's, a creepy or like the way the castle somehow morphing. It's just Bowser's power. Well, Bowser's power assisted with the stars of the castle.
Talk about the castle adapting to you personally. Now, I've talked about this in other videos, but all of this gets a bit even more creepy when you take into consideration the legacy of this castle. After the events of Super Mario 64, we have to consider that Super Mario Odyssey forbids us access to the old parts of the castle we are used to. They are sealed off, hidden behind a remodel, and only the shell of the lobby remains. I mean, if you had a creepy Wario head floating around in your forever flooded basement, I suppose the only thing to do would be to seal that cursed crap beneath the castle and let it talk about fun for all of eternity.
Well, personally, I've never actually played Super Mario Odyssey, but I mean, that's less of, the personalized Iceberg copies of the game or whatever the hell's going on. That's more game developers saying, hey, this castle, here's what it looks like, but we're doing a completely different adventure. And if you want to look at it like from, like the inside of the game perspective, Bowser's, I don't know, is Bowser still using the power of the stars in Super Mario Odyssey? I guess I would say yes. But, like I said, personally, I don't know. But it's like, Bowser's, let's just say, Bowser's still using the power of the stars, except he knows that his old plan doesn't work. So, certain areas of the castle, no point in accessing that, because now Bowser's using the power in a completely different way, and we have to go a completely different path to defeat Bowser.
The plexus of the castle is really a broad, complex topic that can be addressed in many different ways. It's a mere speck on the iceberg, but thoughtfully placed due to its scope. But to truly understand the plexus, first we have to talk about parallel universes. And I know you're tired of hearing that by now, but seriously, we need to chat about warping into other worlds and even time travel. Because yes, it all technically plays a part.
Really? How would alternate universes and time travel take part in Super Mario 64? I mean, like I said, the power of the stars that, creates the worlds inside the paintings, those worlds inside the paintings are more pocket dimensions than, parallel worlds or time travel. I mean, if you have some evidence as to how that works in, you have about 30 seconds to say what that is. Oh, I somehow I kind of doubt you're going to, give any evidence as to how that is in less than 30 seconds. So, well, I don't know. Let's see.
Princess Peach's castle somehow ties it all together from a lore perspective, and I've been documenting it for years now in my early Mario videos. Also, there's a room called the Bowser Room. Don't go there under any circumstances. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Super Mario 64 confusion. Thanks for watching, guys and gals, and until my next video, cheers.
Yeah, as I thought, you didn't have any evidence or anything to say about that. Wow, okay, so, I don't know, if someone knows of an earlier Mario video from, SwankyBox that actually goes into more detail, feel free to link that down in the comments section, and I'll do it sometime in the future. I mean, hell, this is the this is actually the third Super Mario 64 fan theory that I've done in a row, so I'm definitely going to be choosing something different for the next one. And yeah, depending on what I can find for Super Mario 64, or hell, even Super Mario World, and if there's actually any for Conker's Bad Fur Day out there, maybe sometime in the future, but yeah, I know there's plenty of, Pokemon fan theories, and of course I'm gonna try my best to stick around, just first gen. Although some might kind of creep into second gen, so I'm just gonna, at least for now, I'm just gonna have to take the word of whoever does the theory that, hey, that's how it happens in second gen. At least until I eventually get around to it. Anyway, I've got to get to editing this, and hopefully that doesn't take too long, because, yeah, I've got some plans for later today, and, one plan was kind of screwed from the start, and I didn't even know it, but my second plan, things should hopefully go well. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see eventually. Or rather, I'll see, but yeah. So, if you have any suggestions for a Wild Wednesday video, please put it in the comments section down below. I'll give it a quick check, and if I can, well, I'll potentially do a Wild Wednesday on it sometime in the future. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell so you can always be notified whenever I upload another video. And of course, have fun.